Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Aaron. So on the derivatives front, as we are seeing that in yesterday's session, the selling which we have witnessed from the upside levels, but still Nifty is holding the support of 23,500 level. On the weekly basis, we have seen that the weekly expiry, the position which got created in this week between 23,800 to 24,000 strike of called positions have got liquidated heavily, due to which we might get again support in the market with the 23,500 level. Once Nifty get clearance of 23,800 level, then we will see positive outcome in the market. Currently, still trend seems to be on the positive front. From last 2 days of trading session, the selling which we have seen was from the 23,800 level, where we are continuously witnessing the call writer position, but major positions have got liquidated. Almost 10 million positions of call writer got liquidated at of 23,800 strike, due to which we will get some strength in today's session. Position PCRO yesterday closed at 0.95 level. The support for PCR on the downside is at 0.84 level, and on the upside, the breakout is at 1.02 level. So once the PCR goes above 1.02 level, and at that point of time, if Nifty trades about 23,800 level, then the momentum will be very much stronger on the upside levels. While on the stock and sector specific front, auto reality metal looks a positive. Selective counters that where fresh long OI and short covering has been witnessed in yesterday's session was from Cummins India, Chambal Fertilizer, and Sun Pharma looks positive. While on the negative front, Phoenix Limited, MFSL, and BSC Limited looks negative. So that's it from the front. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. On the FMCG side, there were results from Britannia and ITC. Results were for both the companies, results were below expectations, where it has faced challenges due to RM cost inflation. In volume terms, both have posted ahead of expectation numbers. In terms of ITC, the cigarette volume growth reported ahead of expectations numbers at around 5 to 5.5%. In value terms, the business grew by 8% with margins at around 60.5%, which declined by 210 basis points. And in FMCG segment, it has grew by 4%, where the segment margins were down by 240 basis points at 8.5%. Overall, EBITDA margin reported at 34.2%. One can expect increase in cigarette price on account of rise in leaf tobacco prices. Also, FMCG segment revenue and margins to see some pressure in the near term. Also, the company has seen the demerger and from demerger of the hotels business, which has lowered the earnings expectations. While the stock has seen upward rally from the last 6 months, we are seeing limited upside from here. So we remain neutral on the stock. On the Britannia Industries Limited, volume growth stood at around 6%. Revenue grew by 5% on a YY basis, and EBITDA margins reported at 16.8%. The management has highlighted there was price increases during the quarter. Also, focused brand investment and fixed cost leverage could support them, mitigating the impact of RM cost inflation to an extent. The stock is trading at a PE of 48 times to FY26 earnings, and we will provide the outlook post to today's con call. Bikaji Foods International Limited posted the result below expectations. Revenue grew by around 15% on a YY basis, where the operating margins reported at 7.8% versus the expectation of around 13%. The stock is trading at a PE of 53 times FY26 earnings. On the chemical fronts, PI Industries posted the result marginally below expectations. Revenue was flat during the quarter. Domestic revenue grew by around 5%, where the volume were up by 7%. And biologicals products has seen the growth with revenue increase of 20% on a YY basis. There was increase in the exports of agrochemicals, where the volumes were up by 5%, and there was a new growth in the new products of 40%. Overall, the operating margins were at 26.9%. There was an increase in the overheads during the quarter due to promotional expenses for the launch of new products and adding the resources to build the pharma business. Also, there was integration of the plant healthcare, so that has increased the overhead expenses. The stock is trading at a PE of 29 times to FY26 earnings. Chambal Fertilizers posted the result broadly in line with expectations. Revenue grew by around 13% on a YY basis, and operating margins were at 15.8% versus the expectation of 17.4%. Uh, During the quarter, the company has received the subsidies worth rupees 3,350 crore. We are long-term positive on the company, where the company is working on a few projects like technical ammonium nitrate, also a massive JV expansion for the phosphoric acid and sulfuric acid. And the company is also investing in the hybrid seed business. Chambal is highlighted its improved energy efficiency, which is at 3%, resulting in cost savings and overall contribution to EBITDA. The stock is trading at a PE of 12 times to FY26 earnings. Thank you.
Good morning. Couple of results. Bharti Airtel reported numbers ahead of expectations, wherein the revenues have grown 19% Y on Y on the back of good momentum in India as well as in African business. EBITDA margins also saw 220 bips growth Y on Y at 54.5%. ARPU at rupees 245 for the quarter was ahead of expectation of against 244 rupees. Last year the same was at 208 rupees. So the overall outlook for Bharti remains positive. Sonata Software has reported numbers. The revenues came ahead of expectation with the international service business growing 4.4% sequentially, and we also saw robust numbers coming from the domestic business. However, the margins were eroded during the quarter due to sudden ramp down of its top client, and thus company had to make one-time settlement to some of their onshore employees. This cost will not be there in the Q4 quarter, and margins will normalize with marginal growth in the Q4 quarter. However, due to a ramp down, Q4 revenues are expected to see a degrowth of around 2.5 to 3.5% sequentially. So, in near term, the stock can be under pressure. Thank you.
Good morning. Hero MotoCorp posted the result in line with expectations. Revenue declined by 2.4% quarter on quarter but grew by 5% year on year. EBITDA declined by 2.6% quarter on quarter but grew by 8.4% year on year. EBITDA margin came at 14.5% versus expectation of 14.3%. And PAT is in line with expectations. Stock is currently trading at P of 16.8 times FY26 EPS, and we will provide more details after the con call. ZF Commercial Vehicle posted the result. Its revenue grew by 5.7% quarter on quarter and 7% year on year. EBITDA grew by 26.6% quarter on quarter and 32.6% year on year. EBITDA margin came at 18.4% versus quarter on quarter 15.4%. PAT is also above expectations, and stock is currently trading at P of 48.4 times to EPS. So the overall result has improved. Uno Minda posted the result below expectations. Its revenue declined by 1.4% quarter on quarter but grew by 18.8% year on year. EBITDA declined by 5.3% quarter on quarter but grew by 20.4% year on year. EBITDA margin came at 10.9% versus expectations of 11.6%. PAT is below expectations, and stock is currently trading at P of 44.8 times FY26 EPS. Thank you.
Good morning. State Bank of India reported its results. Results were marginally below expectations. Advances grew by 14% year on year. Its CD ratio came at 68.94%, driven by more than 18% growth in SME, 15% in agriculture, 15% in corporate, and 11.6% in retail personal segments. Foreign advances grew by 10.35% year on year. Its profits grew by 84.3% year on year. The asset quality, gross NPA came at 2.07 and net NPA stood flat at 0.53. In the con call, the management has stated that they have given the guidance for ROE to be over 15%. Their operating profit declined due to the MTM losses. The bank has enhanced its customer outreach to open high quality savings account, focusing especially on salary accounts. They successfully acquired 9.5 lakh salary accounts, which is expected to boost the CASA ratio to around 40%. The net interest margin stood at 3.01% versus 3.15% quarter on quarter. The management stated that the NIM would be higher than 3%. The ROA and ROA would be at 1% and more than 15%, and credit cost would be estimated at 50 basis point. The bank gave an guidance for a credit and deposit growth to be at 10%. The stock is trading at PE of 9 times FY26 EPS and 1.2 times trailing price to book value ratio. The outlook is positive in the long term. Also, REC posted its results. Results have improved. Its a net interest income grew by 19.6% year on year. Profits grew by 23.2% year on year. Asset quality improved. GNPA came at 1.95% and net NPA came at 0.74%. The stock is trading at PE of 6.4 times FY26 EPS and 1.5 times trailing price to book value ratio. So we are positive for the stock. Thank you.
Good morning. NMDC Limited posted its results. Result is broadly in line with expectations. The quarterly sales volume has increased 22% quarter on quarter and around 5% year on year. Revenue from operations came at 6,530 crores, which has increased 35.9% quarter on quarter and 20.7% year on year. EBITDA came at 2,408 crores, which has increased 67% quarter on quarter and 19% year on year. EBITDA margin came at 36.9%. Adjusted PAT was ahead of expectations. Thank you.
Yeah, Sign Life Science has reported number. This is a recently listed company and operating in CDMO, pure play CDMO company. So the company has reported good improvement in operating margins, though the revenue growth was around 15% year on year, but the operating margins has improved to 27.2% versus last quarter 25.8 and last year 25.1%. The stock is company has reported 3 rupees an EPS and stock is trading at around the 69 times Q3 annualized earning. Outlook, looking at the outlook of CDMO space, the outlook for the Sign Life Science looks positive from here. That's all from us. And I'll request commodity team to take up from here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So, in today's session, if gold prices are holding on to 84,400, then we might see some pullback, else prices are expected to consolidate from 85,000 to 84,500. And one should be cautious if prices are sustaining closing below 84,400, as there could be some profit taking. And in silver also, for trading purpose, one can initiate a sell around 96 400 with a stop loss of 97 200. And on downside profit taking, we are expecting 95 200, 94 500 levels, whereby one can one can book profits. And in copper, prices have already opened up gap up, and if prices are sustaining above 860, then we might see further buying. So buying on dips around 860 with a stop loss of 857 is recommended. And again 866, 867 where one can book profits. Similarly, zinc, we are expecting prices to test 273, 74 on upside. So buying on dips around 271 with a stop loss of 269 is recommended, wherein crude oil prices are expected to consolidate from 6150 to 6300. So there should be weakness below 6300. Selling around 60 to 70 is sell is recommended around 60 to 70 with a stop loss of 6330. And in natural gas, the momentum is positive. One can initiate by around 292 with a stop loss of 285. On upside again, 302, 310 are the levels where one can book profits. So that's it from us. Thank you very much.